How's everyone doing, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping another video. Right, guys, one of the lads has asked me to do a video. I keep getting loads of requests. I'll try and get around to them all, guys, in due time and stuff, in due course. One of the lads said he needs a video for tonight. I don't know why, but he said in relation to how the police get access to mobile phone records and things like that, and email as well. Now, we live in an era where smartphones are all the rage and stuff. Everyone's got one. My mum, who's not tech savvy, she's got one, and all the relatives have got them as well. Kids that have got them, kids that shouldn't even have them in my eyes, below 14-year-olds have got them, and I don't really. You've got babies that get around with fucking iPads and shit like that. I don't really get that. But yeah, so we live in this iPhone era and smartphones and all this sort of crazy stuff right now. When you go outside, right, when you're out and about with your phone, right, your phone's got GPRS, right? Now, the police use this for cell site. For those that don't know cell site, when you go past, if you're out in a car and you're going from A to B and you're going all up from one end of town to the other and so on and so forth, right, you've got these like, you know, like in petrol station, like where the prices are on petrol stations, you've got mobile phone, like, amplifiers or whatever you call it, dishes, satellite things from there, right? And your phone bounces off them and stuff, right? And what that then does, that leaves a trail, right, of where you've been, right? Now, when I was active within the criminal world, I'd have two phones, right? I'd have a shit basher phone, right? And I would have a smartphone. If I was going out with criminals and being around criminals and looking at, like, or being actively involved in criminality, I would leave that phone at home. Why? Because that phone would be at home, and it, like I say, it would cell site me to home, right? The basher phone that I had didn't have the same capabilities. Off the little shitty old fucking phones that you buy for a tenner, you can't get the same information off that as you can a smartphone. Now, if people are going to be, I don't advocate people to be involved in crime, but if people are going to be involved in crime, always have two phones. Have a smartphone or don't even have a smartphone but a lot of people use it and stuff, right? So if you've got a smartphone, right, and you're going out and you're going on a job or you're going to commit criminal acts, right, leave that at home. Buy a basher. Right? If you're going to buy a basher, you don't pay on a card that's registered to you, do you? No, you don't. You go in, you pay cash, right? You buy a basher phone, you put £10 credit on it. You don't register that SIM card to you, and neither do you don't do that on your smartphone either, right? Now, like I say, all the police need to get into your mobile phone records, as mad as it sounds, right, is your phone number. And then from that, they can triangulate you, so they can locate you, right, if they wanted to locate you. They can read your messages and your texts, right? Now, that's without even having your phone, right? Example, I'll give you an idea. When I went to prison, like 3 years ago, right? I went to prison, right? Over a smartphone, right? I was involved with a gangster, right? We'd had a falling out with this other group of people who were police informers, grassies, snitches, whatever you want to call them, dirty bastards, right? And what happened, right? My friend, it was alleged that my gangster friend had used the phone that I was in possession of to ring this family and threaten them, right? Load of bollocks, right? Now, he was remanded with no evidence, right? Now, the phone that I had, right, was a hot potato, right? The police wanted it, right? The police didn't have the phone number. They just knew that a call had been made from one of us because the call was off a withheld number, but then it was alleged that further calls took place and everything, right? And this number came up. These police informers passed the number to the police, and the police were all over it, right? Eventually, the police got the phone, right? A friend of mine fucked up, right? And the phone was grabbed. Yeah, on the back of it, I was arrested, right? I was bailed on conspiracy to intimidate a witness, right? And then a few weeks down the line, this same family rang the police, said that I'd rang them and threatened them for 20 seconds through a fake Irish accent, and I was arrested, questioned, and charged within the space of 12 hours with no corroborating evidence at all, and ended up in prison. Right now, when the police have your smartphone, right, there used to be a company called Technocell, right? They used to send it to. They don't do it to external companies anymore. Technocell were an external company. They now have their own specialists and stuff, right? That do it. And they're all like computer wizards and phone wizards and stuff, right? Now, if you ever get arrested with a mobile phone, right, you've got to be careful. If it's anything that, say someone's alleged that you've made threatening calls, right? You've been arrested along with this phone, right? That these alleged threats have been alleged to have been made of, right? If you go into police interview, the police are going to ask you. If you answer questions, the police are going to ask you what say you've got a PIN code on your phone, right, or a password, right? They're going to ask you for that password, right? And if you're talking an interview, you're either in, if you're answering questions, you're in, or you're out. So you can't be like, oh, I'll answer every question, but then when you answer for my PIN code, I'm not going to tell you, because that looks suspicious then, doesn't it? It looks like you got something to hide. So like I say, guys, right, the police can then, because obviously, right, how it works, yeah, is obviously your mobile phone. You've got on your mobile phone, you'll have your email, right? So your emails will be open, right? They can get into your phone, right? Eventually, they'll get into your phones, right? Or if you've got no passcode, they'll get into your phone. You've got access to your email, access to your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, text messages, WhatsApps, fucking phone records. And like I say, even if you think, oh, well, if I delete all my call logs and all my messages from my phone, the police can't find out. Oh, yes, they fucking can. They plug it into a computer with a special software that they've got, and they can then download every text messages, every phone call, and they can also cell site you. Now, say that you had gone to, I don't know, commit an armed robbery, right? And it had been successful, and you got away with the money and all this sort of stuff, right? And then the police arrest you, and they've got your phone. Your phone would, if you had that phone with you, would pinpoint you, cell site you to the rough area, close proximity to the bank that was held up, right? You're fucked, right? Because if you say, oh no, nah, I weren't there, I don't know what you're talking about, and blah, 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 your phone, the cell site off your phone, right? Even if you've got your location turned off on your phone, they can cell site you guys to that location, right? That then unravels all your story, and because of your fucking phone, right, you end up in prison. And you end up doing years in prison, right? Like I say, a friend of mine many years ago, I'll give you an example. I don't see him anymore, but we was good friends, right, for a very long time, right? He'd been to prison. He came out of prison, got AAT qualified, accountants, right? Was working for Trafford Housing, right? And Trafford Housing, they used to, rather than paying like G4S to come and take the money, they'd just ask an employee to take the money. Now, my mate kept doing it, right? Bam, bam, bam. And he thought there's about 25 to 28 grand in this, 25 to 28 grand in this like bag every week, right? So then what did he do? He rang me and asked me if I wanted to be involved, right? I was staying out of trouble, so I said no, right? But I said to him, if you're going to do it, right, don't use your phone, buy a basher, and then you can text whoever you're going to get the job done with, right? So, because what the idea was someone going to jump out of a car, a friend of his was going to jump out of a car, like link his arm, threaten him with a knife, but on the, like, discreetly, then get the money, get in the car and fuck off, right? Well, he didn't, did he? Right? He used his own phone, text the mates, right? I'm leaving the housing office now. I'm wearing this. Right, get out when you see me, jump out, grab the money, jump in the car and fuck off, right? And then I'll meet you later. We'll split it 3 ways, right? All these text messages and everything, right? What ended up happening? He then texted, "I'm 2 minutes away." The lads saw him. 2 of the lads, they jumped out. They grabbed the money. They grabbed this like rucksack off his back, pulled the money into the car. The driver panicked, crashed the car. He jumped out, left his mobile phone in between his legs where he was sat, fucks off, jumps in a taxi. The passenger was knocked out because he didn't have a belt on. There was 28 grand of money in the fucking footwell, right? And then my mate was the victim and stuff. The police were like, "Oh, you're all right," and all this sort of stuff, right? And then later on, the police went a day later. The police went, arrested my friend, and said, "Can you explain why your phone and the phone of the lad that fled the scene, right? You've both got text messages and phone records between you both." And he couldn't, and he ended up back in prison, right? If he would have bought a basher phone like I told him, left his other phone at work, right? He would have had this basher phone. He could have text, unregistered SIM card, right? Said, right, I'm going to be there in 2 minutes. Then give it to one of the lads. They could have got rid of it, or you pop it down the drain, or you pop it into a dustbin. You snap the SIM card, you bob it in there, bam, you're gone, right? Would have got away with 28 grand. The fact is, the getaway driver crashed the car 100 yards down the road. He then jumped out, left his phone, right? The passenger was knocked out, left in the passenger seat, spark out. Right? There's a car that was the hit to BMW, it was all wrapped up, and all three of them ended up in prison. If he would have used the basher phone, right? Like I say, the accident might not have happened, or might still have happened. You don't know, do you? If it was if it would have been 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later or something, you don't know. But again, down to mobile phones. Ended up in prison. A lot of people end up in prison because of mobile phones, mobile phone records, text messages. Never text an incriminating message, right? Ring someone, even if it's for 10 seconds. Ring them, right? I'm not telling people to commit crime, but if people are going to commit crime, you wouldn't text someone, right? Yeah, we're going to go and rob this person, because how stupid would you have to be? Because that then, when you're sending messages like that, or whenever you leave a text message, right, that's traceable, right? And like I say, example, if you were sending malicious, say you was on Twitter and you were sending threatening messages to someone on Twitter, right, and you're doing that from your own address, that comes back to your IP address, your internet provider address, right? And then you've got the service provider and stuff like that, and then the police contact them, find out that it's in your name, you then get arrested, you get done for malicious communication or threats to kill or whatever the charge may be, you end up in prison. Phones, guys, are your best friends or your worst enemies, right? Like I say, depending on what your intentions are and stuff like that. Like I say, I don't advocate people committing crime. I would never incite people to commit crime. But if people are going to commit crime, you wouldn't take a smartphone out and about with you, would you? Right? Some people, I know people that are that paranoid, they won't even have a smartphone. They get about with a shitty basher phone. They're changing SIM cards every fucking week, right? Every few days, they change the SIM card, change the number, bam, go again, right? Like I say, you've got to be prepared, and you've got to be, like I say, phones. Like I say, if your phone's unlocked and then the police arrest you, then that phone, they've got all your phone, right? They don't have to. You never give your passcode away, because, like I say, you've got like things like WhatsApp, like the messages on WhatsApp are encrypted, right, and stuff like that, where the police can't get into them, right? But that'll soon fucking change, right? Like I say, there's a lot of red tape, but the police are very well funded, guys, right? There's less and less police on the streets, but as overall, they're very, very well funded. Like I say, they can messages, fucking phone records, everything. You never ever tell them your passcode or anything like that, because, like I say, if you've got incriminating evidence on that phone, you don't want to give them your passcode, do you? Because you might as well say, because your mouth is sending you to prison, because you've told them, right? Oh, this is my passcode to get into my phone. Bam. If you use extremely hard passwords and stuff, people, what they do, sometimes they use passwords and use the same password for the Facebook, the Twitter, their email and stuff like that. The police, and then some people are stupid enough to like put it in a message draft, and then the police have got it, oh yeah, so that's his password, bam, they're in, right? Then, like I say, all they need, they don't even need that. If they've got your phone number, they can read your messages without you even knowing. They just contact us. I used to be with a girl many years ago that worked for Vodafone, right? And she thought I was cheating on her, right? Now, I was working the doors and stuff, and girls used to message me, right? But I weren't cheating on her though, right? But she said, oh, who's this girl? What's this girl's name? I thought, how the fuck do you know? She because of her work, right? She just typed in my number and got all the phone records up and the numbers and stuff, right? She didn't get cell site and stuff. That's like a criminal. That's a software that the police use and stuff like that. They've got, like I say, they're very well funded. But this girl found out that girls have been messaging me, and I've been messaging them back and putting kisses on the message stuff. She was a jealous, possessive ex-girlfriend, right? And because she worked for Vodafone, all she simply did was type in my number, and bam, she had the messages. So if that was the police that ring them and say, right, I'm ringing you from, I don't know, CID, right, I need, there's this phone number, blah, 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 right, bam, they're in. Like I say, guys, A lot of people end up getting sent down because of the use of smartphones and things like that. And the advancements in technology, like I say, cell site, it puts you in places. If you're in a place where a crime's gone down, right, but then you've been arrested for it and you deny all knowledge, your phone contradicts your version of events because your phone's there. How do you explain your phone being there? The phone might be... Some people even register the phone to themselves or get the phones on contract. And then that phone's registered to you. The crime's been committed in that area. Why was your phone in that area? You go into prison for years. It's as simple as that, guys. That's how easy it is to get caught out. I know because I ended up in prison on remand on witness intimidation and conspiracy on witness intimidation. Right, guys, as always, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff below. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.